She was like, even if you're that drunk, you can't get it up. So he's lying. Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Yip to My Yap. I'm Erica Starr, and today I'm here with... And today we're talking toxic relationships, the ways we got out of them, and all the things in between. So I think we should start easy with just a general question about love. How has your idea of love changed over the years?
Well, I feel like over time, throughout my experiences, I've been able to experience like the good sides of love, the bad sides. But overall, in the beginning, I feel like there's always this beautiful image of it. So I feel like over time that changed for me. As there were certain experiences that I went through, but that also made me understand love more too. And I feel like the more you understand love, the more you could feel it. So I think that was something that needed to happen in order for me to be able to be where I'm at now.
So what does it mean to understand love? Because love is a big thing.
One thing to understand love is knowing how to receive it and knowing how to give it.
Okay.
And I feel like everybody has different ways of receiving and giving love, but you have to know yourself to the point where you know what kind of love is your favorite.
Okay. So, question, what would you say, how do I put this? What would you say changed your view of love? Was it one girl that ruined it for the rest, or was it just a lot of bad ones back to back?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think, to be honest, I think a mix of that, but myself as well. Because I feel like I would set an expectation out of someone, you know? Like, I'll expect them to do what I would do for them. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it wouldn't always work out like that. Yeah. And then when it wouldn't work out like that, I'll beat myself up for it. And that's where, like, you know, that's where that would come in. Like, I feel like that's where the feeling would come in. That's when I would realize that I really actually like the person. Because
when you're hurt?
Yeah. But I would hurt myself more though. Like, shorty probably not even tripping for real. And I'm over here tripping on the low, but she don't even know I'm tripping.
But why? Why would you hide that?
Nah, because it's like, clearly she not tripping. So why would I show that I'm tripping if she not tripping?
Oh my gosh. See, that's already where we differ.
That's where the music come in.
Mm-hmm, yeah. The music you tripping.
Yeah,
Okay, so what is the worst toxic trait that you think someone can have?
Ooh.
Like, which one has hurt you the most? What is something maybe you had several not less than great girls, and there's a pattern, like the one thing that as soon as they do this, you're like, all right, this isn't gonna work. I'm already over this. I don't want this anymore.
For me, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like everybody has done this at some point too, but I feel like experiencing it is like something else. But for me, I'll say inconsistency would be a toxic trait, and then lying.
Okay, I wouldn't say inconsistency is a toxic trait.
You think so?
I just think it's just something that if you don't understand how to be consistent and you're not putting in the effort, I just think it's like lack of caring.
Yeah, true.
The lying though, toxic, yes.
That's very toxic. and manipulation.
Okay, so
I say that's my top two right there.
So then what's the worst lie someone has told you that's like messed you up relationship wise?
Wow, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't want to say it's a lie, but like, man, for someone that, like, let's say somebody I used to like talk to or whatever, right? Like, let's say they tell me how they feel about me or whatever, and like, you know, they saying like, oh yeah, like this and that, and then their actions don't reciprocate that. That already to me is like you saying something, but you're doing something else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're going back to the consistency. That's just them being inconsistent.
True.
So if you're saying
I don't think I could remember like a lie because I completely shut down like after that. I'm not gonna lie.
I had a few liars. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, word. Give me some ideas, word.
One of the worst lies, and he still to this day has not told me it was a lie. He's sticking to his story. And
but you know it was a lie.
I know it got to be a lie. You tell me if this was a lie.
Okay.
So, oh man, I haven't talked about this story like ever.
Oh man, you're gonna get.
So I was with someone on and off, and this was in high school, but this was somebody I was on and off with for, I want to say, like 4 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. He was a year older than me, and it was his graduation night. And so obviously there's a graduation party that I'm not invited to because I'm not graduating. So the dude was a lightweight. Obviously everyone in high school is. Nobody drinks like that. Unless you've been drinking since you were like 12.
Right.
Like some have.
Hey, man.
And so I knew that like as soon as they made whatever, juice that high schoolers make out of all the alcohol. They mix all the alcohol. Yeah. As soon as he got a sip of that, I was just like, I had a weird feeling that night. I was like, something really bad is going to happen tonight. So, actually there are lies in this. So this was back when Snapchat locations were a thing.
Yo, I think they still are.
No, they still are, but it's when it started because, it was like
gotcha.
2017.
I don't even use Snap like that no more.
No, in high school, I was a Snap person.
Gotcha.
So he didn't let me have his locations, but he had mine. That was one thing.
Oh, that's a red flag.
But he was dumb enough to have his Snapchat location open to everybody. So it was the night of the graduation party. And I see that there are some girls in his grade who are in a certain location or on their way. It was like a little car emoji thing. And he was in that direction. Like his location was near where the car was going. So I was I think that's where the party's at tonight. He didn't even tell me that he was going to the party.
Definitely.
And I was like, okay, like he's proving that I was right. And
wait, did you go?
No, wait, we're getting there. I didn't go there. I was in Pennsylvania with my mom. I couldn't go there even if I wanted to.
I would have been sick.
But then later that night, someone who was at the party posts something, and it's of my boyfriend at the time coming out of a bathroom, and all the guys are dapping him up, and they're like, "Yo, my boy, blah blah blah," and I was like, "No, this is crazy.
Way.
I'm too young for this. I'm not supposed to go through this kind of pain. This is bad. This is bad."
No, that's crazy.
So I hit up that guy's girlfriend because she wasn't at the party, and I said, "Hey, can you ask your man if like what that post was about? Because what's going on?"
Wait, another guy.
Another guy posted
one of the
that
guys
video.
that was hyping him up, right?
Yes.
Okay,
he had
a girlfriend and she wasn't even.
She wasn't at the party, so I hit her up and I said, "Hey, can you ask your boyfriend what that video was about?" And she said, he said he'll tell me tomorrow morning. And I'm like, he's just...
What?
Yeah, I was like, he's just saving his boy for the night so that they have a good time.
He being a W man. That's what he doing.
He's a piece of shit too. And then the next morning, she hits me up and she's like, the bad thing that you thought, probably happened last night did.
Happen. Oh.
And then she told me that something happened in the bathroom and that the girl recorded it.
Oh my God. And just when I thought I couldn't get worse.
Yeah. And then when I approach him about it and I tell him that that's what happened, he's like, I don't remember any of it. I was like, whoa.
Oh, nah. He's trying to blame it on the liquor.
Yeah. And I was just like, see, that's a whole lie and a half. Like that was one of those things where I was like, no.
But you see how you knew what had happened?
Yeah.
And he still said something else.
It was
that pisses me off.
It was a gut feeling all throughout the day. I knew something was gonna happen, and it did. And he stuck to his story. Years later, he still said he doesn't remember. And when I told my mom was like, she was like, even if you're that drunk, you can't get it up. So he's lying. And I was like,
crazy.
She got a point. No, my mom knows everything.
She's not gonna lie to you though.
Yeah, she's not. And she was just like, no, he's lying. And I was like, yeah, I feel like he is. And you know what? I was dumb enough to stay with the guy for I think a year or two more. Yeah, there was a break and then we got back together.
No way you stayed.
I was an idiot. But yeah, so I had my fair share of liars. What made it worse, you know what? We're getting honest here.
It's a safe space.
Yeah. What made it worse is that the day before, I had done something intimate with him that I had never done before. So I feel like he took advantage of that, of the fact that I was like, oh yeah, we're getting closer and this is getting serious. Yeah. And then does that.
That's crazy.
I was 17 and depressed. I was just like, are you?
That's crazy. What love could do to you, huh?
Yeah. So that's my liar. I have a few though, but that's...
Is it? I mean, I have a thing that I do, but I don't know if it's necessarily toxic though. But I would ask, I don't want to say ask, but I would ask somebody what they did, knowing what they did, just to see if they're going to tell me the truth.
Once you're done wrong, it's not toxic anymore. You're an investigator. You're a detective.
You're right.
Because I even asked the girl. And I was like, yo, like what? And she had the nerve to be like, whatever he and I did is our business. What?
What? She said that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And her username.
I would have swung her.
You know what? Let's just put it out there. Her username was JesusLover777. And I was like, I don't think Jesus approved of that one.
Nah, definitely not.
But what do I know?
That's crazy.
But yeah.
Dropping the user.
So there's that. And another thing that I think is crazy and this is just my opinion. If a man's gonna cheat on me, or in that case, a boy, I wouldn't be as mad if they were pretty. Like if I think they look better than me, or like her body's like popping, because I was skinny. I would get it if like she was like,
but it's like a downgrade.
Yeah, like I think
that's so disrespectful. Like I feel like
that's what hurt me the most. I was like, yo, she's not. And I'm not a hater, okay? No. When it comes to girls. If you cute, you cute. You got it. It's all you. But she didn't have it. And
but it's good to think of yourself in that manner too. Like you gotta act like you gotta think of yourself like, yo, no matter who he with, it's not me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there now.
That's how I be.
I mean, now the way that I feel is like, okay, if I get cheated on, it's like, all right, well, it's not me. And I know my worth.
But for the first time to happen in that way, that's insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Built some tough skin at a young age.
I believe you.
Yeah, so that's that. I have my least favorite, I think, toxic trait. I mean, I don't have a favorite though. I'm the worst one. The one I think is the worst. The one you think is the worst. I would say is a gaslighter. Like someone.
Oh man.
And I know that that's like a super overused term.
Yeah.
But someone
it's overused because it's common.
Yeah. It's like we finally just found out what it was called.
Yeah, word.
I feel like you have to be a bad person to gaslight someone intentionally. Because when you gaslight someone, you're making them believe that they should be guilty for something they likely didn't do.
There's no better way to learn something until it actually happens to you. Because you're forced to adapt and you're forced to move forward. And what do I do from here? I'm saying, am I gonna tweak out on this girl, like, or am I just gonna keep doing my own thing and move along? And the second option always works better for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point there, where it's just like experience is the best thing when it comes to just learning any kind of lesson.
Of course, 100%.
Just because, like, I've been told, the very very obvious advice from my mom, from friends, from a whole bunch of people, from all the wrong guys that I've been with. And they've been like, something's off about that one. And I'm like, well, I don't see it. So I'm going to just do me.
Yeah, word. That's how it is, though. That's how it is.
I think that once you go through, because I feel like, every guy and every girl has gone through 1 to 2 insanely toxic relationships.
100%.
Like the ones that they can admit, I was so dumb for that person. Like I feel like everyone has that. Everyone has that one horror story.
But I feel like the fact you can admit that now, it shows you've grown from it.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like people need it because once you have that, it's really easy to catch on to certain habits, certain tendencies. Because especially like you said, like if you start off naive and then finally someone plays you, not that they should.
Nah, of course.
But someone does.
It's bound to happen though. Like
You catch on to certain things, and I feel like it's really hard after a toxic relationship to stay in that middle ground between being paranoid and just being logical. Because it's really easy to see that one thing that's off, and it could just be a mistake. It could just be,
it's actually,
misunderstanding.
I'm low-key glad you brought that up, because that's also like another motive as to why like sometimes I tend to dissociate. So like for example, let's say something happens and I don't want to say a relationship, but let's say I'm talking to some girl, right? And something goes wrong, right? I wouldn't really, like I know myself. I know when I'm going to give you a logical explanation and an emotional one. And obviously when things just tend to, like when something happens, if you react to it right away, it's going to be an emotional response. So I try to step back. I don't want to say I forget about it, but I like to think about it. obviously I'm not gonna think about it for like a week or whatever. But like I like to sit back and think about it, and then I'll give a better answer, more calm and collected answer. Because I don't like I'm a calm guy, like overall. Like I don't like getting like hostile or nothing like that. And I just feel like I'll be heard more if I'm not being hostile. Because when somebody's hostile, you're like, all right, I don't want to hear what this person got to say. You know what I mean? But rather, if I sat down with you on something calm, and I tell you what's up, you're gonna be like, oh, let me hear him out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another motive for me, as to why like I step back sometimes for certain things. Yeah.
I mean, for me, one thing I can say that like before this episode, I was thinking like, what is my toxic trait? What is the bad thing that I do?
Nobody ever thinks about that.
Yeah, and and then part of me is like, what am I talking about? I'm perfect. It's like, bitch, no, you're not.
Exactly. Nobody is.
And you just reminded me of one that's like huge for me. But the thing is, I've worked on it so much that it hasn't come up like.
Then that's good.
In my current relationship. But I just didn't know what it was. But it's because it takes more to trigger me to get to that point. And my toxic trait is exactly that, reacting instead of thinking.
Right. No, I'm telling you.
And speaking out of anger in the moment, because this is one of the things that I take from my mother, where if I'm really upset and you keep pushing me to get an answer and you're just like...
You're going to get an answer.
Yeah. Like, it's just, if you want an answer right now and I'm telling you, I need to think because I know myself and I know I'm going to explode, I'm going to say the worst possible thing.
It's good you're aware of that though. You know what I'm saying? But it shows though how much, like, it shows how much loving somebody can do to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it took me 25 fucking years. But, but it's just, another thing too is, I think dealing with people who are like me in the bad ways shows me how much I'm hurting people when I do those toxic things. And I think that has helped me.
You on the other side now.
Yeah, that's helped me more to change, because you telling me I hurt you, I'm sorry, doesn't do much for me.
But it's not supposed to.
Like, I'm not learning a lot.
Yeah.
But if I get hurt by the same thing that I'm doing.
And you feel it.
I'm like, damn, I'm a dick.
Man, I've been there.
It's not fun. Like, one thing... Through all my terrible relationships, I learned exactly what I don't want and what I don't need and what I won't tolerate.
Good. That's a great thing to do. That's a great thing to have.
One big thing that I learned was that if you can see me cry and it does nothing to your heart and soul,
then nah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, word.
Like, there was one guy, he was terrible for me. I know this now. With this guy, I don't know, man. I had cried in front of him because I was like hurt. And because he couldn't understand why I was hurt, he was just like, are you done?
What?
And I'm like, all right.
Nah, that's crazy. I'm not
Yeah. But my thing is, I understand to the smallest degree, like, a guy who's dealt with a girl who cries on purpose to,
that too. That's a good thing to think about, yeah.
Like, I get that, but I'm like, bro, you know me. Like, you know I'm not like that.
There should be, I feel like this non-negotiable reassurance when it comes to that.
Like, bare minimum, just let me know
even
that
if
we're
I don't
okay.
know. Yeah, even if I don't know what's happening, I'm gonna just pretend like it's all right. You know what I'm saying? You have to, I feel like as a man, you gotta pretend like it's cool. Like, even if I don't know what's happening, right? You gotta give that reassurance. It's non-negotiable. Like, you can't be like, well, imagine like you crying, right? And I'm asking you, and I'm waiting to know what's going on to reassure you. I'm like, what's going on? And you just bawling right in front of me. And I'm like, what's happening? And I'm waiting for you to respond. You can't do that, bro. No, bro. First, I'm gonna reassure you, and then we can talk about it later. Word.
Yeah, girls are difficult.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, don't worry.
Okay. Next question. Do you consider yourself a jealous person?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens when you get jealous? How do you react?
When I get jealous of someone, right? Well, I don't say of someone, but like, yeah, I guess I could say that. Yeah, when I get jealous, like, I get very emotional about it. Like, you see how I told you, like, I could be emotional about something, but I don't show it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm emotional about something in the first place lets me know, like, okay, there's something here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you were saying this earlier, like, you know how to shut something down that's not good for you and stuff like that. I'm still learning what's good for me and what's not good for me. But I feel like if a person could evoke that certain emotion in me to begin with, that's already something. Like, but like for me, when I get jealous, I watch everything you do, like on some really, like, well, I pay attention to it. I'm not gonna call you out on it though, but I'm watching what you do though. I know. I'm not trying to be weird or nothing.
No, it just sounds
like,
toxic.
It is a little toxic, but it's like I'm trying to see how you are without somebody having to tell you, like, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. That's like saying, like, for example, like if you got a man, right? You're not gonna tell your man how to be loyal, right? You're supposed to know that.
Okay, listen. I have a defense.
A defense? Ooh, this is interesting.
No, because I feel like, some people say that the right person's kind of just gonna know everything or know how to act or know. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out. I'm hearing you.
Know how they should love you and treat you and all that. But even I've learned in some relationships that some things just aren't second nature.
Right.
And like, okay, one thing with me, I am very particular with certain things in my relationship. So I'm okay if my boyfriend has female friends. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I'm chill when he meets my female friends. Everything's cool. But there are just certain things that I need you to do to just make it known that out of all the women here, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
And
the reassurance.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like he wouldn't know that because it's like I need that little extra like oomph. Like I take note of like when you go to the bathroom, you're like, babe, I'm gonna be right back. Give me a kiss in the cheek and you go. If you don't do that, it's like, oh, who am I? Like chopped liver. Like I just
like,
need those little extra things.
You don't want to be like everybody else in the room.
Yeah, and some girls aren't like that. Some girls are like, nah, we're out with friends. Like we're all just gonna be just chill, whatever. I'm not like that. If we out with friends, you're my man. And if any stranger from the outside is looking in on our group, they know like, they're together. We don't have to be sitting next to each other. We don't have to be talking to each other, but they know that there's a connection between us.
Right.
And that's something that I need, but that's something that's very specific.
Right.
And at the beginning of our relationship, I kind of bugged out.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh,
over
man.
something that looking back is really small because no one on the outside would have seen it. Nobody else would have been able to tell what I was upset about. But I was like, listen, this is something that bothers me and it's very specific to me. It doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you a bad boyfriend, doesn't make, anybody anything. But I need you to know this moving forward. And then that's it. And I don't think that it's bad that I had to explain that to him because he wouldn't know because he's never dealt with me specifically.
But you see how you communicated that though.
Okay.
That's the key right there.
But why aren't you communicating?
Communicating what?
Because it sounds like you're like, this girl doesn't know.
Look, I'm not saying that my jealousy has justification. I'm not saying I have a right to be jealous.
Got it.
Right? People could be jealous about somebody they're not even with. And that's where I feel like that's a lot of my songs come from that. From feeling that type of, it's like, yeah, I'm a little jealous, but I shouldn't be.
Okay.
But I still am.
Got it.
It's that little push and pull. Though.
Yeah.
It's like I shouldn't be, but I am. But I shouldn't be, but I am.
I think the definition of jealousy is a little like weird for me because I know that people kind of say it as a joke sometimes, like, oh, I'm not jealous, I'm territorial. But there is a difference.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because I feel like if you're jealous, I don't think that, okay, let me just rewind a little bit. If you're jealous, if your partner is making you jealous in some way, shape, or form, then I don't think that you should be with them because I feel like the only thing that sparks jealousy is the feeling that you can lose them.
Right.
And if you're secure in your person and you know you can't lose them, that the issue isn't them and the issue is the other person, I feel like that's when it's territorial because you're telling the other person, don't fuck with what's mine is mine. Right. Jealousy is, oh my God, you can take my man, I'm scared. And I feel like that's the difference there.
Do you think like, okay, let's say in a relationship, right? Let's say the person you're with did something, they probably didn't do it intentionally, obviously. But it made you feel jealous. And you communicated to them, right? But then they keep doing it. Now what?
Then it's a problem. It's a mistake the first time, But the second time it's a choice.
One thing is like, I feel like one thing is jealousy, and then one thing is when somebody's making you jealous with an intention.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I felt both of those.
Okay. No, it's different because some girls, because I've seen this and I know this, they make their man jealous and they get like a high off, like, ooh, like he really loves me. And it's like, bitch, if you keep fucking up,
that's
eventually
so toxic,
he's gonna leave.
You see how toxic that is? You see how toxic that is?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when a girl does that to begin with, like let's say they're doing something to make someone else toxic, that already tells me like,
yeah,
that already tells me you've been through something.
And it's just straight immaturity. It's just like, do you want me or not? If you want me to keep being upset, like you just like being miserable. Is that what it is?
It's that little game, that in between game, that push and pull game. It's like, I want you now, but I don't want you this way, but I want you this way. It's like I don't know. It's like it's weird.
No, I think it's foolish. Do you think everyone can be fixed? Like you know how people, say like Captain Save a Hoe, you know? Like,
nah,
do you think that every person who is broken, and by broken, I mean, let's use stereotypical terms like, she's a hoe or he's a player. Like, can you fix everyone?
I'm not trying to be cliche here, but I think J. Cole said it best. If she don't want to be saved, you can't save her. Oh for real. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. When you start dealing with love, right? You know what I'm saying? You start dealing with love. There's this standard being built, right? It's not I don't want to say it's the right standard, but everybody has a subjective image of love that pertains to like their own experience, right? So let's say somebody has only dealt with toxic relationships. They're not gonna know how to react when they have a healthy one, like when a healthy one comes along. Yeah, because they're gonna be like, oh, and that's honestly that's just human nature because you lean towards the things you're more familiar to. Does that mean that what you're familiar with is a good thing? No, not at all. But if you grew up going through toxic relationships like back to back to back, that's what you're gonna be used to, unfortunately, and it's gonna be really tough to like actually. I feel like, you know what? I feel like somebody could change someone, but the person that changes the other person, they're not gonna be the same after fixing them.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I think, because I was going to say, I feel like everyone can be fixed, but it's not anyone's job in particular to save them.
Because look, I'll fix you, but now I'm messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a trading game. Like, okay, I can fix you, but now.
Because the only person willing to put up with that consistently toxic person is the one who's only been through good relationships.
Exactly.
And then they're like, no, like it's fine. Like in the end, everybody ends up together for a while and then we could date and stuff. And it's crazy,
the good ones don't even deserve to go through things like that. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying that people who have gone through toxic things don't deserve like a healthy relationship. I think everybody deserves a healthy relationship. But I feel like if you're not ready to
put in the work,
to change, and like if you're not ready to even, because one thing is changing, but you even have to think about things like yeah, you're not gonna have somebody chase like on you about, oh, where you at, or like like little things like that. People get used to that, especially when they go through it. Over and over and over again. So I just feel like you could fix somebody if you want to lose yourself. And I don't think you and even then, if you allow, like if you're okay with losing yourself to fix somebody else, you don't love yourself enough to even be in a relationship. Don't even deal with that. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, I felt that one.
Yeah. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah, I had someone who like it was very obvious that I was trying to fix them, to the point that he was speaking to me and he got mad at me one time because he was like, am I some sort of project to you? Like he was like, is there like an end goal in this?
Yeah, no.
Or whatever. And very honestly, yeah, like I
I really like you. Like I'm down to do this for you.
Yeah, and literally. And then
they don't see that though.
My thing is, it was just like, it was such a pain to see that he was, to know that he was willing to see me put up with his BS. And for him to say, I'm always, working on myself, yada, yada, yada. For me to always believe it. for him to know was always BS. Like to go through that back and forth over and over and
that's
over.
That's toxic. It's draining.
Yeah. And I'm like, draining. Dude, like, you know that I'm a great person. Like, this isn't even like tooting my own horn. In that, I don't want to call it a relationship. In that,
situation.
Yeah. I was amazing. Like, I can truly say I did no wrong. I didn't play the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, for him to know that, because he was very aware of the type of person that I was. And for him to always just like, oh, like, you see me as a project and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, dude, like, you're broken. Like, we've had several conversations. You know that you don't know what love is, how to receive it, how to give it, any of that. And
that's where the oblivious comes in.
Yeah, it's just like, and then you're blaming me.
Just act like you don't know
for trying to fix you.
On.
And we both know there's a problem.
Yeah.
So I definitely lost myself in that
situation. That's when you just say like, hey, I'm chilling off this, right?
No, but like I lost myself to the point where like he was very particular in the types of girls that he liked. And I looked very different from that.
Right.
And I started to think that, maybe it's because I'm ugly. And that's the part where I was just like, this isn't me. I don't ever think I'm ugly. I was like, whoa. That's when I finally started letting go. Because I said, once you get in the way of my self-worth, it's over. It's done. Sorry. I guess I can't fix you. Let someone else fix you. You somebody else's problem now.
They'll have you on to let somebody else do it. Can't deal with that.
Not my job.
You could pretend to. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I got you. And then time goes on, right? You're like, damn, I don't really know if I can really do this for real. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
So, but I don't think anybody should even feel the responsibility to fix somebody.
Yeah, and those who do, they're overcompensating for something.
Yeah, 100%. Whoever is out there trying to fix somebody, man, you deserve a lot more. It could be a girl or a guy. Whoever it is, you deserve a lot more than that.
So next question. In the realm of toxicity, this is something I feel very strongly about.
Okay.
Do you believe in taking breaks in a relationship?
Nah.
Cool.
No.
On the same page. Nice.
No. Nah, I just feel like, you know what a break is?
What?
You don't know what a break is for real? It's physical detachment with emotional attachment.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally what it is.
The like, one time.
Yeah, where?
The one time I had a break, we had to set rules where it was like, okay, like what are we allowed to do? And I'm just thinking back now.
No, you're not doing that, bro.
If you have to make up rules, you're still together.
Yo, word. Like, why? Yo, I don't know, man. That whole break thing, like, it's so contradicting to me. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's like, when you take a break with somebody that, let's say you've been messing with for a while, for a long time, right? You trying to force your mind to believe that person's not around, right? But you know they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they are sometimes. It's like, yo, imagine trying to make your girlfriend or your boyfriend that you've been with for a while into a fling after that. If anything, it's more common for a fling to become something serious. Mm-hmm. But you can't just unserious something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that also ties into the whole thing that I was saying earlier about the polygamy, right? The only reason why people feel like it's okay to even have a break is because, like, okay, I have options. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to be with you right now. I have options. And my thing is like, yo, it's cool if you want to have options, you could do that, but don't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And if you want to be serious about something, just be in a relationship. And I feel like people got to know how to be real with themselves. You got to know what you want.
Hold on that be real with yourself, because the reason I think a lot of people want to have the relationship and then have like all like the flings on the side is because they've seen it be successful for other people. For some people that works. But my thing is, compare yourself to the person who has it like that. Y'all don't look the same. That is a big factor.
That's the thing.
Y'all don't have the same job.
And think about what that does mentally though. Like mentally that's draining. Like that gotta be draining. Like imagine you're in a relationship. Right? You're already in your mind, this is the person you're with. And then they hit you with let's take a break. Now you're forced to act like, okay, now I gotta act like I don't care about you and stuff. Now I gotta act like I gotta talk to this girl and act like I really like her, like I like you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not, I think as a person, you have to be direct. I feel like if you think about taking a break, just call it quits.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to like restructure and like come back to it, the break is not. That's just the break is a leeway into the toxic world.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's gonna be that push and pull again. It's gonna be like, okay, are we back together now? Like think about it like that. Now y'all fling, right? Let's say y'all taking a break, whatever, but y'all see each other from time to time. And then whenever y'all see each other, it's like they hit you with that. Oh, what are we? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are just things that people gotta think about. And they would think about it if they thought ahead.
Yeah.
But I even feel like that whole break thing, that's a repulsive decision. That's like, oh, okay, I'm tired of this. I want to break.
Yeah.
You know
No, and it's another thing too is like when it comes to breaks, I've never understood breaks where it's like we're on a break, but we're not seeing other people. Okay, then just say you needed space and stay together.
Yeah, word. Like, bro, just text me tomorrow or something, or some other day. Like, we're at the end of the day, we were all individuals before we were in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's times where when you get into a relationship, that individuality gets erased. Yeah. I feel like everybody needs to have some individual time. It's not impersonal too. It's not like, oh, I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't want to be with you, but I need some time to think for myself. And yeah, I think everybody deserves that. I think that's that's a healthy habit to have. Yeah. But yeah, breaks is a no-no for me. Like you either with me or you not. Like that's it.
Yeah. I had one relationship that there were a ton of breaks, and every time we got back together, he judged me for everything I did during the break. And I was like, bro,
yeah, like, toxicity,
you
man.
You didn't want to call me your girl. That's your problem.
Toxicity.
And then I had another, after that guy, I was like, okay, no more breaks ever again. But then during COVID, I had I had a boyfriend who needed a break. And he said he needed a break because there's a bunch of family stuff going on. Brother ran away, like a whole bunch of nonsense.
During COVID though?
Yeah.
Like quarantine?
Mm-hmm.
Not even see you.
Hold on. No, he was seeing me.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Because we were staying with my mom on some weekends. And
got you. Okay.
He was neurotic with his hygiene. And it was fine. But my thing is, I said okay to the break because who else I'm going to see? Like, that was the reason.
Yo, word. Like, yo, we all on lockdown. You think I'm going to be outside?
Yeah. So that break started in April. You know, COVID was still a thing. Everything was shut down. But as soon as the summer started, the world was opening up again. It hit July. I was like, bro, like I can't do this. He's
still on that
anymore.
break?
Yeah. I was like, all right. Like, what's going on? Because like it's hot out.
Yo, word, like what we doing? Word.
And so I told him, I was like, I can't do this. And then in September, he was like, I'm ready now. I'm like, bro, I ended the break like 3 months ago.
That's so like, I'm ready now.
Like, please.
I think you have to have the self-respect to know when you tolerate something, when you say, you have to have the balls to say, yeah, nah, this ain't it. That's it. Like, we not doing this. This is non-negotiable. Like, have a nice life. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're doing good, but I'm not going to deal with this.
Yeah.
Word.
Okay, so tell me about some of the girls who messed you up the most.
I have a few.
Okay.
But I have a couple of story times though. Like for example, there was this girl that like we don't text like that. We don't really text like that. Mm-hmm. But like I'll see her in like a function or like whenever I go out or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like, yo, you probably think we together, bro. Like if you saw me or her and you ain't like with no context. Right?
So y'all don't talk ever?
We don't text. Yo, like it's crazy how like we don't talk like on the phone like that, like texting at all. We don't.
But you have
like,
each other's numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making 100%. Sure like, how y'all end up at the same place.
But yo, funny story though. There's another girl that is like that. I don't have her contact, but when I see her, I see her. That's literally the saying. That's literally the same. I'm like, there's a saying that goes, "I see you when I see you." That's literally.
And how often do y'all see each other?
Not that often, but I'm not gonna lie. I can't hold you though. I feel like the fact I don't see her often, I feel like, okay, I'm not trying to sound like toxic or whatever, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But when you don't see somebody a lot, you value the time you have with them more when you do see them, right? So yeah, this is a girl, right? And whenever I see her, like, you know, we click, right? But we never text.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like, at first that mess with you. I'd be messing with your head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think it's just, I see it as a way for me to see like the different versions of things that could, like, there's different forms of, I don't want to say love, but like, you know, when you click with somebody, you click with somebody, right? But there's just like, it's not always gonna be how you think it's gonna be.
So what would stop you from pursuing something with someone like that?
What would stop me from pursuing something?
Yeah.
I mean, from the jump, I already knew, like, all right, like, there's not gonna be something serious.
But what tells you that? How do you know?
Because
you met her at the party?
I don't want to say it's just that, but like, that could be one thing. That could be one thing, right? But like, think about it, right? You see a girl, right? Y'all clicking, everything going good, but she don't want to give you her contact though, right? I'm the guy, cool. So she not feeling me, right? All right, that's cool. That's what I be thinking. But then whenever I see her, she like, we be together, bro. She don't be with nobody else. She probably do. Is that my problem? I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But nah, a couple girls have messed me up, like, because it's that whole thing I say, like, I get this, like, once I start seeing somebody, right, and like things are going well, I'm already like painting a picture in my head. I know I'm not always supposed to do that, but I can't help it. That's what I do, and then that's when it either keeps going well, or something happens that throws me off. Like, you know what I mean?
So you think about the wedding immediately.
I don't want to say the wedding. Man, that's crazy. Not the wedding, but like, I definitely see, I like to think ahead. You know what I'm saying? So like, when I'm with a girl, I'm like, yo, is this a girl I could potentially take serious or anything like that? And either way, I feel like that's something a lot of people should do. Like, it helps me out a lot, because it's like, whenever I see somebody and I'm like, okay, I could tell this is not gonna, like, this is not gonna be something that's gonna be happening for a long time. I'm already kind of mentally prepared. But when it does happen, even though that sounds kind of messed up, you know what I'm saying? But you have to think ahead. But yeah, a couple girls that messed me up for real.
Okay, so you haven't pursued these girls. Tell me about a time that you entertained a toxic girl.
Oh my God.
And you kept on, but you knew she was bad for you, and she was just like fucking you up. Like, you were just like, yo, this is so bad for me. But you know, whether, I don't want to say the reasons that you would say, but those are the reasons.
Nah.
What toxic stuff have you dealt with consistently with someone?
I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of the times, whenever I come across a girl, there's always another dude in the picture. He's not. Oh, I don't want to say. Ooh, I don't want to say always. Wait, hold up. Run that back. Most of the time, like, I'll say like out of 10 times, probably 6.
Okay.
Right? And that doesn't mean they're in a relationship with that person.
It's just the one that they're stuck on, or something.
Like, they're stuck on somebody, right? And there's certain things that happen, like, that indicate that.
Like what?
So like, if I see each other, look, if I'm very private about, like, you know, whenever I'm like with somebody, I think I value privacy a lot, because I feel like if nobody knows, it can't be messed up unless I mess up. You know what I'm saying? So, what were you gonna say?
Okay. No, there's that whole like privacy thing, and I understand like barely posting and stuff, but like,
there's a difference between privacy and being sneaky.
Yeah, but okay, that's true. But the way that you're making privacy sound is like, no one ever knows that this girl existed in your life.
I mean, it depends where you want to take it. Because if you act like that with your girlfriend, you tripping. Like, I feel like if you got your girlfriend.
But how does a girl graduate from toxic girl you're talking to girlfriend? How you get there?
It takes time. I'll tell you that.
Has it ever happened?
It's been close to happening, but never happened. But I feel like you can't. I can't really be like, okay, I'm going to the club and I'm gonna find like the girl of my dreams. Like, it's not really gonna happen like that. Like, you could probably find somebody you get along with really well. But like, I feel like the environment itself already tells me like, okay, I don't really think I'm gonna find like something serious here. And even if I were to be, like, man, prove me wrong, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's not something you should expect when you go to the club.
But what like lures you to these girls? Because you still talk to them.
Yeah. Nah, chill. You can't post that part. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm playing.
But what's the appeal?
Nah, but if I'm being real with you, there's two things that, to me, that are like my appeals, right? So one, okay, looks matter, right? Okay, of course looks matter, right? But I definitely say looks aren't everything. Like, I've met pretty women where like they're really pretty, you know, to look at. And then you go up to them and you talk to them and they're like, I'm like, yo, what is this? Like, I'm like, this is not it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is not my type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I'll probably say the thing that matters to me more is like the vibe. I think this ties into each other. Is how the girl carries herself and like her vibe. But I feel like they work together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because 100%. How you carry yourself is how you present yourself. So I think, to me, that's mainly what, like, I'll say the looks grab me, but the vibe keeps me there. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that for me is the two main, I'll say two main.
But the messy girls be having the vibe? Is that what you're saying? Because if 6 times out of 10, there's someone else in the picture, they gotta be vibing.
Yeah,
right?
like they are vibing. I gotta give it to them. I'm not gonna lie.
Where does a girlfriend have a place in your future? Because I feel like you real comfortable in this toxic spot.
Oh my gosh, it looks like I'm home, right?
Yeah,
it looks like I'm home.
Real cozy.
You know what I mean? Nah, for me, I mean, I just feel like I feel like love is one of those things you just, as ironic as it sounds, like, you're not gonna find it if you look for it. You know what I'm saying? True. I feel like you just have to love yourself. And then the more you love yourself, the more love you're gonna attract. And then that's when you're gonna really see, like, it's gonna find you. But it's not like, you can't go out of your way to do something for a relationship. Like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. Like, I'm gonna start looking out for I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start doing all these things to get a relationship. Because it's like, you gotta do that because you're trying to better yourself and as an individual.
Because once you get the relationship, you're gonna stop.
And then it's like, now what? Yeah, now I got a relationship. Now you're gonna stop? Like, no, I think, to be honest, I'm doing my own thing right now with like the music and stuff. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not looking for it, but it's not something that I'm like rejecting either. Like, if it comes around, it comes around.
So you're open to it.
If it comes around, it comes around. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Because, I don't know, like I said, I feel like you're like super comfy where you're at. And I feel almost as if, what is it? Almost that you enjoy the thrill. It's only because I'm stuck on this whole thing about like you 6 times out of 10 being in a situation where there's another person involved. Because for me, as soon as I find out someone else is involved or that they're stuck on someone or that they're still cool with somebody from the past, I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. Like, we could just have each other on Instagram. We don't gotta be all close and lovey-dovey or any of that.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a little different.
What makes it different?
Like, if I like you, I like you. Like, and like, if I like somebody, I'm not gonna let somebody else jeopardize that. Even if he was already in the picture before me.
Ew, you one of those, don't let your boyfriend get in the way of you finding your husband.
Nah, chill. Oh, why is she trying to? Nah.
That's exactly how that sounds.
This is the thing. When I genuinely like somebody, like, that's not something that happens like common, right? It doesn't always happen for me to actually like somebody. So when I do, it's like, I think it's something worth fighting for. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just me. But that's how I look at it. If you like somebody, you shouldn't just let it go. Like it's nothing. Like, I think you should fight for that.
All right. But you're Mr., mentally check out as soon as shit goes left.
Yeah. I gotta work on myself.
So what does a secure relationship look like to you?
Definitely, I say healthy communication, 100%. I feel like that's the main thing, because I feel like the communication is built. Communication is something that you build regardless. Like it's not like, okay, now we're in a relationship, now we're gonna start communicating. Like that's something you start building from the day you meet somebody. So I think that's the main thing. Second is trust. I think trust is very big, especially nowadays, especially with social media and all that stuff. Social media plays a huge part in like that whole trust thing and like being untrusting of somebody or thinking that somebody's lying, things like that. So trust, communication, and honestly, consistency. Right? Consistency is something that's worked for, but there's times where with the right person, consistency is not gonna feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna feel like, oh, I have to do this or I have to do this to be consistent. It's just gonna be natural, to be honest.
Yeah.
And if you're with the right person too, it's not even gonna feel like, it's not gonna feel difficult. Like, you know, it's not like it's a checklist and you're like, okay, I gotta be honest with this person. Okay, check. I gotta, tell them everything I got going on. It's not like that. It's more of like building that bond where you're comfortable with the person, and then to the point where that's gonna flow naturally out of you.
This brings us back to the whole toxicity stuff. Like the reason that relationships fail is because people don't know how to work through conflict resolution. Right. Like that's the biggest thing, because everyone's great for as long as everything's good, and you're just like, okay, well, like we're both loyal, everything's fine. But then friends and family come into play, and like as more moving parts come into the relationship, it's like, whoa, what do we do when shit hits the fan? Or what do we do when there's a family emergency? What do we do when, friends are being weird with us? And, and then if you don't know how to react to those situations, or you don't know how to work together against situations, it's you guys against each other and not you guys against the problem, that's where things start falling apart. So I think it has to do with a lot with how you see the world, and
100%.
That plays a role in how you go about fixing things.
Yeah.
All right. So talk about fixing things. Let's talk about breaking them. What is the best way to break up?
The best way to break up?
Yeah.
In person, for sure. I know I've heard like a couple of times like, oh yeah, like we broke up over text. Nah, we not breaking up over text. Like we gonna talk about it like in person. Like,
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, bro. Like if you're not able to break up with somebody in front of them, it kind of shows you didn't have that kind of the bond with them to begin with. You wouldn't feel like that's something that, like, unless you feel like a threat to your safety or something. You know what I'm saying? That's a different story. But I feel like it's like, damn, we've been together, and like you're just gonna end it over a text. Like a text is something so simple, right?
Yeah.
Like, and if you like, nobody is forced to be with anybody. And I heavily believe that. I think everything should be mutual when it comes to like, relationships, whether it's friends or, love and things like that. But when it comes to a breakup, I definitely think that's a matter that should be spoken about like in person. Because I feel like you get to hear the person out more, and it's like, damn, okay, you're just going to end it over text. Like, all right, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be, it doesn't make it seem so, it's like, damn, it didn't matter to you enough to the point where you couldn't even take the time to even just come tell me like to my face that you was not trying to be with me no more.
Okay, I can see that.
So,
because I was almost not on the same page as you, only because I remember one breakup I had where I forced him to do it through text because he was like, can we talk tomorrow in person? I'm like, how are you going to start a conversation like that? It's clear where this is going, because I already felt the beginning at the end,
You kind of feel the vibe at first.
Yeah, and I was like, you're going to have me anxious for the next 12 hours to wait till tomorrow to talk in person. I was like...
At least a phone call is something.
Yeah, I was just like, if it is what I think it is, say that shit right now. And then...
Word, keep it straight up.
I don't remember if he texted me or called me, but he did, and I was like, well... there goes that. I just thanked him for doing it. I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night, so I didn't have work the next day.
Oh, so you
I was
went
like,
out.
thanks, so I'm not crying at work. I'll just use tomorrow to bawl my eyes out.
Oh my gosh.
Appreciate it. And that was that. And I told him too, I said, if you're doing what I think you're doing, I don't want to see your face. And I was just like, looking back, I'm like, that was smart. Because I feel like if I saw him, I get handsy.
Yeah.
If I feel like you leaving me, that's another thing. I was a prideful person for a lot of my life because I had never been broken up with. And 2 guys had broken up with me. And they humbled me bad.
The first time, it was like, damn, this really happened, huh?
No, but that wasn't the first time.
That was the second time?
Yeah. The first time.
It's like, damn, you really doing this?
I was like, what?
I know, I could imagine.
You're leaving me? Get the fuck. Like, I was in disbelief. I was like, do you know what you're doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, humbled me. One last question.
Okay.
How much of your real life situations are incorporated into your latest project?
like basically all of it. Yeah. I just have this thing where like things happen to me and like I can't really I can't write about it in the moment. After some time goes by and I process it, it subconsciously just pours out in the music. Like all that stuff I was telling you about. Like all those situations I was telling you about, like, you know, the girl posted me, like, you know, the guy in the picture, like all of that just, I can't even explain it because I just feel like it's such a beautiful thing, because it's not like I sit down and I'm like, okay, here I'm gonna start writing about this. I just write what I feel in the moment. And then
do you find out through the music that you're like more hurt than you thought you were?
Man, I just, yeah. That's a great way to put it, actually. Because I feel like I can express certain things in a song that like I wouldn't be able to just like say. And I know it's a little ironic because I'm the one singing it, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a different world for me. And like I have this freedom to talk about something that's messy or like horrible and make it sound beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of music. It's like you can take something that you went through that was really like an experience for you and make it into something beautiful.
So would you say you romanticize that at all? Like how does the story change from the time that everything happens to when it hits, you know, pen on paper? Because like once you say you process it. For some people, when they process it, they almost detach themselves from the situation entirely and view it as someone else's story. Or is it more like a self-reflection kind of thing? And then you realize where you were wrong, where they were wrong. Like, how does the story change in between?
It's more of a self-reflection thing because like that whole detachment thing, it doesn't happen from one day to another. Okay. Like, there's these couple of days, like few days, even weeks, or like, it's just like, damn, should I detach or should I like... It's just like a back and forth in my head, right? And basically, when I go to write the song, like, if I could tell you in a more detailed way, I would, but it just happens so natural to me, especially when I'm talking about certain experiences that sometimes I hear the song like even after I make it, and I'm like, damn, like, like damn, that's deep, you know?
He was going through it.
Nah, because it's like, damn, I haven't like, it's something that I wouldn't be able to tell you something like that right here up front. But as soon as I start making the songs, it just pours out of me. And I think that's something beautiful because the same way that, you know, I talk about all that toxic stuff and things like that, the same way I could do that, like I can also talk about like love in a beautiful way. You know, like romantic way. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show how much love plays a part in like the way I see the world and the way I see my experiences. Because this whole album is about love. It's about good love, bad love, all that stuff. But it has to do with love at the end of the day. That's the central theme. But it just taught me a lot about myself and the way that I see the world and the way that I react to things. So I just feel like in the future, I'm going to keep hearing myself and, you know, like kind of being like, where can I go from here? You know what I'm saying? Or how can I expand this? Or how can I talk about an emotion that I never spoke about before? And I just feel like that's the beauty of it for me. There's always something new to find.
Interesting. That's it. See, that like stuff like this is so interesting to me because I over communicate everything. I give details that people didn't ask for. I talk about feelings that people don't care about. So like it always like baffles me when I hear that people can't express things like through speaking, because I'm just like, oh, I don't shut up.
Hey, it's a gift though. If you have the power to just talk about things freely like that in a way where like it's not even about talking about them, but putting them in a way where you know what you're saying. Because one thing is just saying things, and then one thing is knowing what you feel and being able to say it.
Yeah.
So I think music is just, when you think about music is the things you can't say, but somebody else is saying them for you, so you hearing it. And that's how you connect to something.
Because I feel like with your music, it's the other way around. I feel like you don't know what you're feeling until you hear the song. Even though you wrote it into the whole process.
That has happened to me. Yeah, that has.
Cool.
Yeah, interesting you say that. That's true.
So are there any last words that you want to tell the people viewing at home or listening on their car rides to work?
Nah, I'll just say tune into the album. It's coming out soon. And stay tuned for more music.
Cool. All right. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Wherever you're streaming, please like, comment, and subscribe to help your girl out. And tune in to his latest project. I will see you next week. Bye.